Open than any other bowler left, and probably any other bowler still around.
It's going to be sort of interesting. Now we have exactly just the opposite. Pat, being the true veteran that she is, has decided to start on the left lane. She will throw one frame, and then she will finish last. So she's told her student that she has taught all this time and everything else to basically start in the opposite direction. So now Pat is going to go ahead and try to put the pressure on Wendy right from the start.
Two opposite extremes here. Pat Costello, 13 career titles, 2 U.S. Opens, 6 years apart. This would be the 6th year again. And the amateur, Wendy Macpherson, and Costello out of the chute early to get great pin action and pick up the strike.
Pat's moved out a little farther than some of the other players. You see the ball is going to hook a little bit late. It's going to catch just enough of the head pin to send it into the wall. Comes off of the wall, trips out the 4, the 5, and the 7. It's a very impressive start, and I think you're going to see Pat wants this title very bad. She's going to be very emotional. It's going to be a lot of fun to watch this match. And her student comes right back, comes through the nose and carries the pins, and it's just, I think we're going to see it's going to be interesting. I think both these two are going to have a lot of fun bowling each other, but they're bowling for a lot of money. Here it comes. The ball again is going to hook a little bit drastic left on the back ends. Both pins go to the side walls and cave in, you know, the pins. The pros carry real well in this bowling center, and they've had a lot of fun, you know, with, you know, mixing them up and everything. If you get in the pocket, sometimes you leave a 10. She comes right back over, gets a light hit. Again, the pins are coming off the wall. Both players, you know, have had one hit on lane 15.
Fourth consecutive game, Macpherson has opened with a strike in her first frame, and the third straight that she's followed that up with a strike in the second frame. So she's gotten away early, though Patty Ann managed to catch her, in fact, even led by a pin going to the 10th frame. Faltered at the end, and now Pat Costello opened with the strike. Get ready for second frame action.
Pat wants this one. She does not want to fall behind early. She knows that Wendy's bowled real well in the lead. Lane 16 again is a little bit tighter condition. The ball does not hook as much. She's left the ball wide to the right and left the 1-2 spare.
And here's that same song, fourth verse, the early lead to Wendy Macpherson, 10 pins in the second. Boy, Costello's had a great history here in the Open. 13 top 20 finishes, 8 in the top 10, and as mentioned, a couple of championships. This is that 6th-year cycle. She's ready again.
Yeah. Pat has cashed in 98 out of her last 100 tournaments, and that record in itself is going to be very hard to beat. Pat makes the spare. She moved over to the right a little bit more, started the ball instead of down the first arrow a little bit more towards the second arrow, and covered the spare perfectly. She moves back on lane 15 where she started with her strike. This lane has been the downfall so far of about all the bowlers, even Patty Ann. When she got up in the 10th frame, she had to get a strike on 15. It's reacting a little bit, you know, more than what 16 is, and you have to make a little bit better shot on it, and so far none of the veteran players have been able to.
Pat lost her head-to-head match with Macpherson this week, 240 pins to 192.
Pat gets the ball right back up and does not trip the 4. Just a little bit high.
Patty Costello is another very familiar name on the LBPT Tour. They're different. Left-handers for Patty, of course, 18 years, just like Pat.
Yeah, they've been, you know, mistaken and everything, and it's just because of their names are so close. One's from Pennsylvania. Pat Costello here is from California. She moves right. She needs to make the 4-pin. She's a very tested veteran. She's not going to give, I don't think, Wendy any, you know, added room, but she really wants to put the pressure on the young amateur, and she hasn't been able to do it yet.
Wendy up by 11 pins here early, as is her custom, leading the match early. She's already defeated Anne-Marie Pike, Cheryl Daniels, and Patty Ann. And awaiting the winner of this one, the qualifying champion, Lisa Wagner.
Here comes Wendy. She needs to make a good shot here on 16. This has been her lane. The ball stays a little wide. Again, she throws the ball light. The head pin goes to the left side, comes off the wall, and carries everything. We're going to see this. She's got the ball wide a little bit. It goes out to about the 8th board. The lanes are drying out a little bit more. The ball hooks back. Here comes the head pin off of the deal. And look at the reaction by our amateur. She's very happy.
That's the 3rd consecutive game she's opened with 3 straight strikes.
She's coming up again. 15 has been her best lane. The ball finishes up a little bit. She jams the pocket this time, leaves the 4 the same as Pat did. No carry. So now we got her off of her string, and Pat needs to come back up on the next shot and make a very crucial shot to start making some strikes.
Wendy's up 20 pins.
I think you saw Wendy right there. She had a little bit of a sigh of relief and everything. I think when you start with the 3 or 4 in a row, you begin to think big game. Sometimes it's a lot better off if you sort of make a good shot, leave the tap. Now she'll come back and make this, and she won't be thinking about shooting a 298, 299, or 300. She'll be able to just worry about making good shots every time to win the match.
Pat averaged 225 on these lanes during the week. That's third best among our 6 finalists. And as we mentioned, Wendy was only 5th best, but she's bowled much better than that 217.5 average here today.
Okay, Pat needs to place, some pressure back on Wendy. She needs to hit lane 16. It's been a little bit tight for her. She pulled it, walks away from it, and it goes right in the hole. You're starting to see, I think, a little bit of the psychological, effect on that part of it. She stuck at the line just a little bit, and now she's telling the crowd that it's, maybe that's what she needed on lane 16.
She's been here many times before, this kind of arena, hasn't she, Rex?
I think she has, and I think you'll find out now. Pat will play the crowd. If she can just get it going, she's going to get everybody in the place, just really behind her. They're going to be, roaring. Wendy's been a favorite of the crowd, too, but not like Pat. Pat's been with us for 2 years. She just does an excellent job. She does a lot of interviews and stuff, for the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, and, you just got to look at it that way. She pulls it, carries a Brooklyn. Look at the emotion. She is ready to win. She may not be making the best shots of the 2, but she wants to win her 3rd title so bad. Here she comes up. She overturns it a little bit. The ball is going to go down. It hooks left. She's over in the 1-2. Again, the head pin comes off and goes the other way instead of like Wendy is. Now watch this. She wants it so bad. She may be trying just a little bit too hard, but she's going to put on a show for all of us and put some pressure on Wendy.
So Wendy's lead is down to 10 pins.
Wendy has been making that shot and tripping the 4-pin. That time when she got up there, she let up on the ball just a little bit. The ball went down and again hooked a little bit harder on the back. Ball speed today is so important the way the lanes are conditioned. She has got to keep her speed up. If she keeps her speed up, I don't know if anybody can beat her right now. She's got the perfect angle to the pocket. But that time she was thinking about what happened. She let up on it a little bit, and she's let Pat Costello back into the match.
And the lead is down to 3 pins now for Wendy after having it up 20-some earlier. It's now down to 3. Pat Costello, has the lead 3 pins.
Now, if the amateur has finally been, placed in a pressure situation. This is the first time all day she's been behind. We'll see how she handles it. She's up on her best lane. The ball seems to get right up into the pocket on this one and also carry very well light for her. This time she throws the ball, gets her speed back up, and the ball sets right in the 1-3 pocket.
She's been able to overcome open frames in both the 3rd and 1st matches.
Okay, again, she comes up on 15. I think she's real comfortable over there. She's developed a lot of confidence on 15. And again, the ball just seems to every time on 15 go down, set right up in the pocket for her. And she just, she's not tentative at all. She's a little bit tentative on lane 16. Now you're going to see the veteran. She's gotten 2 breaks in a row. She stuck at the line last time on this one just a little bit. But we're going to find out what happens. I think you're going to see the ball right up into the pocket, and Pat's going to put some pressure back on Wendy. She's moved the ball in a little bit. She's running it out. There we got it. It's 3 in a row for Pat Costello.
It's fun to watch, isn't she? She finished 13th here last year.
She knows when she let this ball go that she was going to strike. I mean, she's sure of it. Look at her. She starts to run it out. She's running it out. It's there. The 6 gets a 10-pin. That was the only problem she ever worried about. She has fun at Gage Center Bowl because they do have the top lane returns and everything. She can't run it out too well. She's got to make a jump before she can get into the run.